Sheriff Don Baxter, employees of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. District Attorney Brian P. Green, employees of the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. Paul C. Metzler and James Milley Jr. in Penfield Court. My name is Chris Chichester. I'm an innocent man. I have been in jail 6 times in Monroe County and Livingston County. And 6 times a prosecutor didn't talk in court. District Attorney Brian P. Green, Perry Duckles, Michelle Crowley, Lisa Gray, Michael Harrigan. How am I in jail when a prosecutor doesn't talk in court? Doesn't matter. Employees of the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. This is the Freedom of Information Law. Dated this July 26th, 2026. This is 2 years after I contacted you. Jonestown Kool-Aid Drinks is the District Attorney's Office and Sheriff's Office, because this is July 26th, 2024. July 26, 2024, District Attorney Sandra Dorling, she was still in office, received these. So, who is it? Tell me who it is. Tell me who it is who has violated my civil and constitutional rights, which you're unable intellectually to understand at the District Attorney's Office. Documentation for the case for Christopher Chichester before John P. Menzel Jr. in Penfield Court. What is named the prosecutor, District Attorney Brian P. Green. Second foil. Documentation for the case for Christopher Chichester with Paul C. Menzel in Penfield Court. What is named the prosecutor, District Attorney Brian P. Green. Third foil. Documentation for the case for Christopher Chichester with Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. What is the name of the prosecutor, District Attorney Brian P. Green. Has my address here. My United States Postal Service box on 130 North Winton Road, box 10184, Rochester, New York 14610. Who is it? What's not to understand? How many times do I have to ask you freaks and sociopaths, psychopaths, and degenerates? I want to say ask. I'm not asking. I'm just using that word. July 26, 2024. 2 years ago today. Sandra Dorling, District Attorney, 47 South Fitzhugh Street, Rochester, New York. Attached Freedom of Information Law document dated July 26, 2024. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester with John P. Menzel Jr. in Penfield Court. What is the name of the prosecutor? District Attorney Sandra Dorling. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester with Paul C. Metzler in Penfield Court. What is the name of the prosecutor? District Attorney Sandra Dorling. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester for Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. What is the name of the prosecutor? District Attorney Sandra Dorling. What do you fail to understand? Are the brain molecules not smashing together correctly, you party-switching freak? I have a corrupt, fanatical prosecutor signed every one of my ludicrous appearances in Penfield Court, New York State Supreme Court, achieved disclosure. 1 year ago, on July 26, 2023, I contacted your office via Gmail using the Freedom of Information Law to demand the names of your public employees that have violated my civil and constitutional rights. This simple communication has arrived in your office repeatedly via the United States Postal Service, Federal Express, United Postal Service, and it's attached. I have links here because I'm on YouTube relentlessly more than 100 times. Vanished, mute, sociopaths, freaks, broken glasses about how $75,104 Richard Seidman broke my glasses at Penfield Library because he stalked me in there, ran at me, slammed his arm at the side of my head. I fell down, and then my head hit the hard ceramic top floor. They put me in handcuffs, dragged me down to Paul C. Metzler. This is where I meet my public defender, $140,000 public defender Julie Cianca, and there's not a prosecutor from the district attorney's office there to make an argument that I committed a crime. Is that constitutional based on what I just told you, employees in the district attorney's office? And then I'm driven out of Monroe County, where I've lived since 2012, to Livingston County. Is that constitutional? I don't know the answers to these, and I don't have the arrogance that I'm right and correct when I talk about the law, because I have lived in Monroe County at that point for 10 plus years. And I'm told when I get to Livingston County Jail in Genesee, New York, I had to be there for my own safety. Not because of the inmates at Monroe County Jail, because I could be attacked by the Monroe County Sheriff's Office employees because I'm so well known. That's their language to me. Because I've been attacked at Monroe County Jail. Now I know I can take a beating because of you fucking psychopath, Sheriff Todd Baxter, because I've been attacked at your jail and other places like Wegmans on East Avenue. So after these links, mail the names of your prosecutor, the address listed below my name on your official letterhead. You will continue to refuse, affected by contempt for law to destroy your character, integrity, and ethics. This demented existence is why you're under investigation by Onondaga County District Attorney William J. Fitzpatrick. You're obsessed with power and control over human beings. It's a perversion. You're unable to recognize or understand. Resign. So, what's not to understand? I'm going to tell you where I am. So you, Sheriff Todd Baxter, and your fellow psychopaths and freaks can show up right outside where I am on the floor and scream and yell my name, because that's what you did in Penfield. So this is where I am, Sheriff Todd Baxter. Be here tomorrow. Stand right outside. I'm on the fourth floor. Scream and yell my name, Christopher Chichester. Go berserk. Go nuts. Because you want to put the handcuffs on me and violate my civil and constitutional rights where I haven't committed a crime. Here I am right here. Can you see that? That's where I live right here. Are you going to be here tomorrow, Todd? So, 270 on East, which is Eagle Star Housing. So, here's my lease right here. 270 on East. I would not be here in all likelihood if I was not a veteran. And my DD 214 is gone because of Sheriff Todd Baxter. Here's the address here. 270 East. That's where I live. Be here tomorrow, Todd. Go crazy. Go nuts. You know, when I walk out the door, you can have Richard Seepman there to violently attack me and one of the other freaks and psychopaths. So the address here is 1133 Corporate Drive, P.O. Box 25395, Farmington, New York. This is an Eagle Star Housing out there in Ontario County, where I don't live. April 4th, 2026, Todd Baxter, Sheriff 130 South Plymouth Avenue, Rochester, New York. I don't have my original DD 214 because of you. Then I go on here with these links: abuse of power, 4 criminal complaints, violence. I'm on here for 18 minutes talking about Richard Seepman attacking me, 1 judge, the corruption of Todd Baxter, Sandra Dorley, the New York State Legislature, my former employer for 7 years, to change this law in the state of New York to allow 1 judge to determine guilt or innocence. I know that's a long road, and that probably won't happen. And also for town courts, some appellate jurisdiction with some psychopath freak town judge like Paul C. Metz or John P. Lomenzo Jr. just can't keep you in jail and hold you in jail, which has happened to me with both of these psychopaths and freaks. Is that constitutional? When I'm saying I'm an innocent man, and where's the appellate division jurisdiction for a town court? What's the answer, Perry Duckles? What's the answer, Michael Harrigan? What's the answer, Michelle Crowley? What's the answer, Lisa Gray? Because I don't know the answer because I'm not an attorney, but you know the answer. If a town judge decides you're in court in the state of New York, is there no appellate jurisdiction whatsoever, and that's it? You're going to sit there in jail for as long as corrupt psychopath and freak like John P. Lomenzo Jr., Paul C. Metz, or the other corrupt psychopath and freak James Mellon Jr. decides you're going to be in jail when a prosecutor doesn't talk in court? So, how am I in jail 6 times and prosecutor refused to make an argument in Penfield Court, New York State Court, that I committed a crime? It's because of you. My original DD 214 was in my 1980 Mercury for 3 on April 14th, 1988, when I was 22 years old, and I ETS'd from 17 Cavalry, 101st Airborne Division. There's my DD 214 right there. This document I had in my possession for more than 35 years. Good Conduct Medal, Army Service Ribbon, Sharpshooter M16, Expert Hand Grenade, Army Lapel Button, Air Assault Badge, Army Achievement Medal, Army Commendation Medal. I'm a graduate of 10-day U.S. Army Air Assault School. One of the best times of my life. The thing about the Army that is terrific, when you're in Air Assault School, which is about half as long as Airborne School, everybody's the same. I was right there next to captains and majors, lieutenant colonels. My class was about 40. It does not matter if you're an E3 like I was. It does not matter if you're a captain or major, lieutenant colonel. You got to go through the training. You got to go through the 10 days, which is the same way it is in Ranger School and Airborne School. And Todd Baxter knows this because he's a veteran. So, you know, the things in life you may think are small. You know, I had to get my glasses were broken. This is Daniel Decker, General Manager, Sterling Optical. 6081 Route 96, Farmington, New York. I got to get new glasses in Farmington, New York because Richard Seepman broke my glasses. You know, my ears been pierced for 15 years. I had to buy new earrings. One thing after another that I had to buy. So this is my ID here, Farmington, New York. So on my money clip, it says the 101st. I had a money clip just like this. I bought a new one. Over and over, I'm buying things I already bought. So, United States Postal Service, Farmington, New York, right here. Farmington, New York. All your names are not on here, but this is Todd Baxter, Brian P. Green, United States Attorney for the West District, Michael D. Giacomo, Alex Rising, and I believe Paul C. Metzer also put this bald-headed psychopath's name on here too. So who is it? Tell me who it is. What's the problem, employees of the district attorney's office, sheriff's office? So I'm at 275 Park Avenue. This is going to be the second time I'm locked out. And I'm locked out because of RG&E. I'm not going to go into those details right now, but I was at the public market. I now know the hatred that people have for utility companies, in particular this one right here. So when I contact RG&E, I'm going to come here, I'm going to read my communication, but RG&E is why I was locked out at 275 Park Avenue, where I'm seeing one crime after another. Homeless are coming into the building, teenagers are stealing cars, panhandlers are on the street, and RPD Chief David Smith doesn't do anything about panhandlers. Cars are being stolen right next to him. Homeless are walking into buildings on Park Avenue. He is in total oblivion, RPD Chief David Smith. Just like he's in oblivion about this parking lot that's right here. Here's East Avenue, here's South Union Street, here's the parking lot, all these bars and restaurants are along here, which I'm sure you know. This parking lot here is an absolute total freak show of public intoxication, disorderly conduct, screaming and yelling, driving while intoxicated, especially at midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. when these bars and restaurants close, loitering in public. It is absolutely insane what I see right out here in this parking lot, and I've been here now for 3+ months. Do you not know what I'm talking about this East End District Police? You must know, because now now there's a curfew in Rochester, New York, with RPD Chief David Smith and Mayor Malik Evans going berserk and going nuts. And did Mayor Malik Evans and RPD Chief David Smith consult with you employees at the district attorney's office about the constitutionality of it? So this parking lot here, there it is right there. That's what I can see from my window, because I took that picture from my window. So you can see this here. I wrote here, Chris Chichester, Rochester, New York, photographs the parking lot from hell for Rochester Police Department Chief David Smith and Sheriff Todd Baxter. Then my language under this is, do you understand my language, you two overweight, catatonic, moron donor, and he's in oblivion? Arrest the criminals in this parking lot tonight, as it's Saturday, and you two overweight, moron donor, and eating donor, and he's in oblivion, we do nothing. Public intoxication is a crime. They're constantly public intoxicated over there. Screaming and yelling, going berserk, going nuts. That's disorderly conduct. It has to be. Am I right? Am I wrong? Driving while intoxicated. They pull out of this parking lot onto South Union Street at East Avenue, drive right over the yellow line. And there's one RPD vehicle there where he's not doing anything. So Arbor Loft is right across from here, which is not a loft, because I lived in a loft, which is a Buckingham Properties loft. So I can see here, see that Arbor Loft there? That's where this arrow is pointing. That's not a real loft like I lived in. That's a loft that's a wedding venue, because they have weddings in there and other type of social functions. That's not a loft people live in, which I can see why. You know why? Because nobody would live in there if they had to live next to this parking lot. And as far as what happens in this parking lot, before I get to my other documentation where I'm demanding information from you, talk to RPG Chief David Smith, employees of the district attorney's office, and tell him to police that parking lot, because he can arrest people or ticket them for public intoxication, disorderly conduct, urinating on the Arbor Loft. Is it not a crime to urinate in public? That Arbor Loft is urinated on every Friday and Saturday night 10, 15, 20 times with the RPD vehicle right on East Avenue and Union Street where he's not doing anything. They should be in that parking lot because there are criminals in that parking lot. So I'm going to be talking about that parking lot even more. Here's my bus route for Farmington, New York. You know where I don't live because I was locked up on Mort Properties, 434 Oxford Street. So what do you fail to understand, employees of the district attorney's office? Because District Attorney Brian B. Green received this innocent man July 16, 2026. 3 years ago on July 16, 2023, contacted Sheriff Todd Baxter with District Attorney Sandra Dorley with this language. I'm going to read the first graph. Your office will receive a criminal complaint from me next 7 days about 80-year-old Antonio Spano, Fairport, New York, locking me out of my residence in Pemberton, New York, without a court order. He not be arrested because of his age. Your office will receive a criminal complaint from me next 7 days about Nayraj Shah of Pemberton, New York, falsely reporting criminal act that has walked through a parking lot 4,000 times. He will not be arrested because you Kool-Aid drinkers can't identify crime. Your office will receive a criminal complaint from me next 7 days about 75-904 Richard Seaman, violently assaulting the Pemberton Public Library. He will not be arrested or fined because he's a Monmouth County Sheriff's Office employee. So, what's also attached in PDF is July 26, 2026, that's today, where These criminal complaints have arrived 100 plus times to Sheriff Todd Baxter. He's done nothing. Because he's corrupt, because he's a joke, because he's a freak, because he's a psychopath. That's why. July 22nd, 2023. As I point to you with the official finger in Brooklyn, New York, one of the reasons why you behave like freaks and psychopaths and sociopaths at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office and Monroe County District Attorney's Office, all you know is Monroe County. Attached are 4 criminal complaints with this language. That Richard J. Seaman, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, walked in the Penfield Public Library in Penfield, New York, ran at Christopher Chichester, slammed his arm at the head of Chichester, causing him to fall backwards and hit his head on the ceramic tile floor. Name Shah, Kumar Shah, 2033 Penfield Road, Penfield, New York, 14526, false reporting incident Christopher Chichester, formerly 26 Sandstrom Drive, and is walking through the parking lot next to his residence. Antonio Spano, Fairport, New York, locked the front and back doors of his residence, 26 Sandstrom Drive, Penfield, New York, without a court order. Laura Riley, Webster, New York, transported the person belonging to Christopher Chichester, 26 Sandstrom Drive, Penfield, New York, to a storage locker in Webster, New York, without a court order. These are crimes. Each individual will not be arrested or prosecuted. There is 1 day in jail served for these crimes, destroying life, destroying, incapable of identifying crime, and you can concoct crimes for innocent citizens. You hate the human condition. I was absolutely right. There's no arrests. Unless these were sent before the corrupt judge and dismissed, which I'm going to write again anyway. Michael Houlihan, who's involved in a serious incident they're not going to go into now because he had to be investigated by the Attorney General of the State of New York, and he's hiding on private property across from where I used to live at 26 Sandstrom Drive. So I exit my residence one night at midnight, and here comes 73312 Michael Houlihan and $85,000 Don Benedetto at the Sheriff's Office running at me. I'm not going to go into those details right now. But Michael Houlihan lied under oath, former director of the grand jury, Michelle Crowley, when he said I swung a hammer at him. And if you called me to the grand jury, I would have stated right here what I'm saying here, and then you could have asked me any question you wanted, Michelle Crowley. I would have sat there for as long as you wanted. You asked me question after question after question about Michael Houlihan. But I'm going to be your ham sandwich indicted, Michelle Crowley, because it doesn't matter what I have to say, even though I'm the target of the grand jury, and you're promoted. So, text criminal complaint for perjury for 73312 Michael C. Houlihan, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. That's 73312 Michael C. Houlihan, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, walked on the private property across from the residence, 26 Sandstrom Drive, Penfield, New York, of Christopher Chichester. Houlihan ran at Chichester approximately 1 a.m. with $85,000 Don Benedetto of the Sheriff's Office. Chichester ran away from Houlihan and Benedetto, unaware of the identities. At Chichester grabbed the hammer alongside the residence next to his bike, used to fix the bike's tire. That as Chichester placed his foot on the first 3 steps of the back porch, Houlihan grabbed his arm. The hammer in Chichester's hand is forced upward. Chichester ran across his back porch, sliding glass door, and as Chichester never stopped running, it is impossible to swing the hammer at 73312 Michael Houlihan. Michelle Crowley, former district attorney's deputy director of the grand jury. Michelle Crowley, former director of the grand jury. It is impossible to swing the hammer at 73312 Michael Houlihan, Michelle Crowley. What do you not understand, Michelle Crowley? Why don't you call me to the grand jury? Michelle Crowley, why didn't you call me to the grand jury? Because it doesn't matter. That's why. The truth doesn't matter to Michelle Crowley. So, I run back at my rents. I'm in there. They can't come in there. And I was thinking they were going to try to get in because they're freaks and psychopaths at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. So now what I don't know, this is how I'm going to be attacked by Richard J. Seaman. Paul C. Metzler and Todd Baxter want to send me to jail, but he can't be in Monroe County. So I walk. This is when I leave my residence for the last time because Todd Baxter and Richard Seaman and Paul Metzler evicted me. There is no court order. Evicted me because I'm not going to be able to get into my residence because when I eventually return, it's going to be locked. I'll be locked out without a court order by Antonio Spano, Fairport, New York. So I leave my residence. I don't notice the last time. I walk down Penfield Road like I have 1,000 times. I get the bad road. I walk down to the Penfield Public Library. I do not know that Richard Seaman is watching me the whole time, as ludicrous as that sounds. I sit down at the Penfield Public Library. I sit there. Here comes 75904 Richard Seaman, another freaking psychopath, into the Penfield Public Library. Seaman runs in the library. He takes his arm, slams it at the side of my head. I fall backwards. I'm on a ceramic tile floor. They take me down there to Paul C. Metzler, and then I'm driven out of Monroe County, where I've lived since 2012, to Livingston County, where I'm again going to be violently attacked at that jail. Thomas J. Doherty's the sheriff in Livingston County. So, is that constitutional for me to be in Livingston County where I don't live or not? Can a town judge, Perry Duckles, Michelle Crowley, Michael Harrigan, Lisa Gray of the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, send you anywhere that town judge wants, including out of the county town you live in. Is that constitutional or not? I don't know, but you should know. So, over and over again, I'm demanding you disclose the names of my prosecutor silence. This is Charles Schumer, October 22nd, 2025. Over and over, these 4 criminal complaints are sent to Senator Schumer. I don't hear anything from this 75-year-old hack who's been in Washington, D.C. for 40 years. And, the other United States Senator from New York, I sent her as many documents. This Kirsten Gillibrand on the same day, October 22nd, 2025. I don't hear anything from any of them. So I'm constantly being held. Veterans Financial Literacy Seminar. If I had money, not wealthy, but if I had money, there's not one goddamn day in jail like I spent, because I would have had a private attorney, motion after motion, get him out of jail. He's an innocent man if it's called a motion. And the reason why I'm in jail like that is money. Do you know what justice is about? Employees at the district attorney's office? All the books that have been written about justice and the way human beings talk about justice since the founding fathers more than 250 years ago. Do you know what justice is always about? It's not about the nothingness of language. It's about money. Justice is always about money. Because if I had money, there's no way I'm going to be in jail for as long as I was in jail. Because money's going to eject me from jail. Perhaps I would have been in, but it's going to be motion after motion, if that's the right word. And I can use money in jail with a private attorney. But I didn't have money, so I didn't do any of that. So if you're hearing motorcycles and cars, that's this road right here, South Union Street. In 2021, my former employer, the New York State Legislature, employees of the District Attorney's Office, Sheriff's Office, changed state law to make it illegal for the driver of a vehicle to enhance the sound of a vehicle. Do you know about this law? This law is violated repeatedly, as Sheriff Todd Baxter and RPD Chief David Smith ignore. I have never heard vehicles this loud in the 2 cities I've lived in Albany, New York, and Washington, D.C. And the street is right here. So I hear them constantly. And when I hear these vehicles that I can hear right now, I'm thinking, is this law enforced by Sheriff Todd Baxter? I mean, it's not enforced by Sheriff Todd Baxter. He's never in Rochester, New York. But it is a crime to have your vehicle that loud. You know why the state legislature, my former employer, had passed that law? Because these men who are less than 40 years of age get a perverted erotic thrill to listen to how loud their cars are. That's why the state legislature had to change that law. So, what's not to understand about what I'm saying? American Medical Response also goes by here. If you hear a siren while I'm on here at 6:30 p.m. on this day where I'm demanding information from you, July 26, 2026, if you hear a siren, it's American Medical Response. When I would walk to work from 600 Constitution Avenue through the United States Capitol to the Senate Russell Building, I'm not passing sirens after siren after sirens, vehicles with sirens on them, either police vehicles, fire engine vehicles, emergency vehicles. That's not happening in the 20 minutes it would take me to go from 600 Constitution Avenue to the United States Capitol. When I lived at 157 Winthrop Avenue, I had to go to work in the New York State Capitol, where I worked for Senate Majority Leader Ralph Marino and Governor George Pataki. This is 8 years I'm making this drive. I'm not passing Albany Police Department vehicles, Albany Sheriff Office vehicles, ambulances, anything like that with sirens on. It's not one siren after another, after another, after another in Albany, New York. That's not happening in the 2 cities I've lived in. There are sirens everywhere. You know why? Because Rochester, New York is a freak show. And I'd really like to know where this American Medical Response is going. And if you had integrity and character at the Sheriff's Office and District Attorney's Office, you could use your connections to find out why. You know why? Because it's dangerous for these freaks and psychopaths to be out there the way they are. They make a U-turn right here on South Union Street. They make a U-turn right there on East Avenue. They're going 40, 50, 60 miles an hour. And how is it that they're through the city this many times a day? I will guess it's 50 times a day. So, the reason why that happens is Rochester, New York is a city of freaks. That's why. And here are two freaks in Rochester, New York, right here. May 11th, 2026. Todd Baxter, Brian P. Green. Attachments. These attachments here arrived. Are you illiterate, Perry Duckles? Are you illiterate, Mark Monahan? I don't know who Mark Monahan still working at the district attorney's office. April 6th, 2026. When I'm in Farmington, New York. I'm not in Rochester, New York, where I live. I'm at this shelter that's Eagle Star. Farmingville, New York, Farmingdale, New York. I've been in all three now. Farmington, New York. Because Farmingdale was the ski bowl. Farmingdale was the indoor track. I didn't even know there was a Farmington, New York. Perry Duckles, Mark Monahan, 3 years ago on April 6, 2023, I contacted you about the abomination of Penfield Court, the YouTube language. $28,000 policy amounts from Penfield Court. I was violently attacked the Penfield Public Library, 75 for Richard Seaman, Monmouth County Sheriff's Office, because you as one person, look, Penfield Court want to deliver me to jail. It's not going to be jail in Monmouth County. Perry Duckles, Mark Monahan, District Attorney's Office. Perry Duckles, Mark Monahan, what are the names of my prosecutors in Penfield Court? Before this bald-headed, wig-wearing Paul C. Metzer, $34,000 John P. Lemezzer Jr., $200,000 Alex Renzi, New York State Supreme Court. One of you psychopaths at the District Attorney's Office decided to elevate me to Alex Renzi, Perry Douglas, and Mark Monahan. Who is it? Then I have the YouTube link. Corruption, fanaticism, Penfield Court, $28,000 Paul C. Metzer. Last grab. Melvin Ames, you're a corrupt prosecutor, silence that have violated my civil and constitutional rights. The address listed in Farmington, New York. How am I just 6 times in Monmouth County Jail, Rochester, New York, Livingston County Jail, and Genesee, New York, when a prosecutor refuses to talk to court? How? Does it matter? The answer is no. So, corruption and fanaticism in Penfield Court. This is April 6, 2023. Doesn't matter to you employees at the District Attorney's Office. Get this corruption and fanaticism on Penfield Court because you love that abomination. You just send the defendant right in there. You don't have to talk. The judge effectively works for you as a de facto employee of the District Attorney's Office. Paul C. Metzer, John P. Metzer Jr., James Family Jr., and there's the defendant in jail, which is what you want. The civil and constitutional rights are relevant. April 10, 2025, 2 years ago on April 10, 2023, I contacted your office via Gmail, United States Postal Service, registered mail return receipt with this language, mail and answer on prosecutor silence, the address listed below in Rochester, New York. Read the 6 attached PDF documentation, answer me about sexual harassment in your offices. Attached are two Freedom of Information Law documents dated April 10, 2025 with this language. The cost of taxpayers of Monmouth County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter expended taxpayer dollars settle employment-related discrimination lawsuits failed to comply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The cost of taxpayers of Monmouth County District Attorney Cianca Doyle expended taxpayer dollars settle employment-related discrimination lawsuits failed to comply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Have you each expended taxpayer dollars to settle a sexual harassment lawsuit? Is your answer 1, yes, or 2, no? What is your answer? I'll contact you again within the next 7 to 10 days with this Freedom of Information Law. What's the answer? It doesn't matter. You don't think you have to answer because you're above the law. This ridiculous cliche. There's the foil there for Todd Baxter about sexual harassment. There's the foil here about former District Attorney Sandra Dorley, Crash Dorley, sexual harassment here. I'm on here April 10, 2023, talking about sexual harassment. July 28th, I'm going to be back on here in 48 hours, perhaps even tomorrow, where I'm going to be talking about this perjurer freak. 1 year ago, on July 28, 2024, I wrote to you. 1 year ago, today, I described the sick lawless behavior, perjurer, 73312 Michael Lynn, the Monmouth County Sheriff's Office on YouTube. You ignore my language and attach criminal complaint. It doesn't matter, Todd Baxter, that somebody lies under oath. July 28, 2024, 1 year ago today, I described the sick lawless behavior of perjurer 73312 Michael Lynn, the Monmouth County Sheriff's Office on YouTube. You ignored my language and you attached criminal complaint. Why? Is perjury a crime? Refuse to prosecute, resign free. Perjury is a crime. District Attorney Sandra Dorley refused to prosecute. July 26, back to today, 2024, just right then. July 10th, 2024. Not going to read this. This is the transcript of every argument made by the prosecutors to detail and describe a crime I committed. They're in brackets where there's no language because the prosecutors never talked in court for me. And how am I in jail when a prosecutor doesn't talk in court? Perry up as $140,000 public defender, Julie Cianca. You definitely need to be removed by the Monmouth County Legislature, which I'm going to pursue. June 27, 2024, same language about the foil. January 16, 2023, but the camera on Penfield Road, I'm not going to talk about that right now, but perhaps you can see it. It's right there. They're on that camera right there. Lunatic Fringe, get me on the camera because I work with Park on Perry Duckles, January 1, 2023. What's the problem? The problem is you're corrupt. It's that simple. January 1, 2023, attached to Perry Duckles, Attached to PDF is a 61-page Freedom of Information Law document dated December 20, 2022, arrived in your office via UPS. This documentation also arrived December 22nd, 2022, December 26, 2022, via UPS, was tracked. You have it. Print each. Bring it to your corrupt boss, District Attorney Sandra Dory. Tell us pathetic accumulation of health afflictions to send the information to my UPS address below. It includes the names of my prosecutor's silence. What's not to understand? I've demanded the names of my prosecutor's silence of 18 months. I'll be in court again. These fellow psychopaths know it takes only one corrupt judge, this is Alex Renzi, New York State Supreme Court. Paul C. Metz, a little pen for that, will declare me guilty of criminal charges. You concoct. Prosecutors never talked to court for me, yet I've been in jail 6 times. Fanaticism, hatred at your office deserves the attention of the United States Department of Justice. You received the same FOIL documentation dated January 1, 2023. On January 3, 2023, that compels you to disclose the names of my prosecutor's silence. You continue to refuse and crave in silence. 61, because there's 61 Freedom of Information Law documents. I was YouTube, I read all of them. 4 Laura Riley, my ex-girlfriend, I told her to tell me facts and circumstances. Her taking everything onto a storage locker. There's nothing from her. When I said here, I'll be in court again. Do you understand my language? Employees, there's one of those vehicles right there I was just talking about where the law is being violated, because I can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it on my laptop microphone, but I can certainly hear it. That doesn't happen in Albany, New York, and Washington, D.C. So when I say that I'll be in court again, that's exactly what happened to me. Because I got a document in the mail right here. I'll be in court again. 1, 2, 3, those 5 words. I got a document in the mail, forces me into 99 Exchange Boulevard with Fox Renzi. There I am in Monmouth County Jail. That's exactly right. I'll be in court again. And guess what, employees of the District Attorney's Office? I'll be in court again. And I'll be in jail again. Just by coming on here. Because it enrages you freaks of psychos. I do not know if you watch me and listen to me now at 31 minutes. And I really don't care. Because all I care about is the United States Department of Justice, New York State Legislature, Governor Kathy Hochul, United States Attorney for the Western District of New York. Who I really care about watching me, listening to me, hearing me, and then reading my documentation is the power of the individuals above you at the Monmouth County Sheriff's Office or Monmouth County District Attorney's Office. That's what I care about. Because you can't be convinced of anything. So, Todd Baxter, Michael Houlihan lied under oath about me swinging a hammer at him. Because it's impossible when I'm running away. Richard Seidman violently attacked me. I'm demanding different information. What I demand every single time in here, the documentation of Freedom of Information Law, the names of my prosecutor's silence. Because I'm going to seek disbarment for all of them. Who is it? So, on these documentation, the green card comes back to me, means it's received. I have envelopes where Todd Baxter will refuse to accept it. So, Todd Baxter, Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Todd Baxter, Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Todd Baxter, Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Todd Baxter, Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Todd Baxter, Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Todd Baxter, Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Todd Baxter, Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Todd Baxter, Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Todd Baxter, Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Todd Baxter, Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Todd Baxter, Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Sheriff Todd Baxter, your employee Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Your employee Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Sheriff Todd Baxter, your employee Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Your employee Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Sheriff Todd Baxter, your employee Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Your employee Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Sheriff Todd Baxter, your employee Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Your employee Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Sheriff Todd Baxter, your employee Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Your employee Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Sheriff Todd Baxter, your employee Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Your employee Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Sheriff Todd Baxter, your employee Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Your employee Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Sheriff Todd Baxter, your employee Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Your employee Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Sheriff Todd Baxter, your employee Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Your employee Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Sheriff Todd Baxter, your employee Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Your employee Michael Houlihan lied under oath. Sheriff Todd Baxter, your employee Richard Seidman violently attacked me. Your employee Michael Houlihan lied under oath. So, there's more in here. There's 10 more here. Alex Renzi right there. Michael DiGiacomo here. District Attorney Brian P. Green. What are the names of my prosecutor's silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? District Attorney Brian P. Green, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Perry Duckles, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Perry Duckles, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Perry Duckles, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Perry Duckles, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Perry Duckles, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Perry Duckles, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Michelle Crowley, you violated my civil and constitutional rights. Why don't you call me to your grand jury? Michelle Crowley, you violated my civil and constitutional rights. Why don't you call me to your grand jury? Michelle Crowley, you violated my civil and constitutional rights. Why don't you call me to the grand jury? Michelle Crowley, you violated my civil and constitutional rights. Why don't you call me to the grand jury? Michelle Crowley, you violated my civil and constitutional rights. Why don't you call me to the grand jury? Michelle Crowley, you violated my civil and constitutional rights. Why don't you call me to the grand jury? Michelle Crowley, you violated my civil and constitutional rights. Why don't you call me to the grand jury? Lisa Gray, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Lisa Gray, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Lisa Gray, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Lisa Gray, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Lisa Gray, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Lisa Gray, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Michael Harrigan, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Michael Harrigan, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Michael Harrigan, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Michael Harrigan, what are the names of my prosecutors' silence? Michael Harrigan, what are the names of my prosecutors of silence? Is attempted felony assault the crime? Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. Is attempted felony assault the crime? Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. Is attempted felony assault the crime? Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. Is attempted felony assault the crime in New York State Supreme Court? Alex Renzi. Is attempted felony assault the crime? Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. Is attempted felony assault the crime in New York State Supreme Court? Alex Renzi. Is attempted felony assault the crime? Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. Is attempted felony assault a crime? Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. You know what the answer to that is? From him to me? No. Because the word attempted can be anything. That's why. So, United States Attorney for West District of New York, he replaced Trinity Ross, and what I hear from her is nothing. 100 times I contacted her, this hack, Trinity Ross. Michael DiGiacomo is Alex Renzi again. More Alex Renzi, more Alex Renzi. 10 more Alex Renzi in here. Every single one of these is 10 more. That's Alex Renzi. Michael DiGiacomo, I won't hear anything from him. United States Attorney in West District, Michael DiGiacomo, I won't hear anything from him. Again, the United States Attorney. United States Attorney again. United States Attorney again, I won't hear anything from him. United States Attorney Michael DiGiacomo, I won't hear anything from him. 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 Michael DiGiacomo, won't hear anything from him. Michael DiGiacomo, won't hear anything from him. Michael DiGiacomo again. You know how much money this cost me? Huh? Because this ain't cheap. Michael DiGiacomo, I won't hear anything from him. Michael DiGiacomo again. I won't hear anything from him. Michael DiGiacomo again. Michael DiGiacomo again. You get the picture? There's 3 in there. Michael DiGiacomo again. He's back to Todd Baxter. There's more in here that I'm not going to read. You see this ring here? I wear this ring to think about my Uncle Thomas Valentine Hennessy of Staten Island, New York, who took me to Aqueduct in Belmont when I was a young man in high school at SUNY in the military, teach me how to bet. He wore a pinky ring. New York City police officer, Staten Island Precinct 123 for 27 years. So I wear this pinky ring, think about my Uncle Thomas Valentine Hennessy. All my pinky rings are gone. I'm not wearing a pinky ring because of fashion or anything like that, because I think about my uncle. So that's why I have these again. They're all gone because Antonio Spano and Laura Riley. You see this watch here? This is a $10 watch. I went to the gift shop when I was a United States Senate employee. I bought a $200 United States Senate watch because I thought I could have this watch for the rest of my life. I'll think about this terrific appointment here on the Hill. That's gone too. Does that matter? The answer is no. Antonio Spano locking me out. All my rings are gone. My watches are gone. The next criminal complaint I'm gonna write. It's gonna be a series of criminal complaints. I have to list everything I don't have. And you know what's gonna happen when I send this to Todd Baxter? He's gonna ignore it. It doesn't matter to Sheriff Todd Baxter. Everything I've said today, if he watches me, doesn't matter to him. Just like it doesn't matter to you employees at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. How am I in jail when a prosecutor doesn't talk in court? How am I in jail when a prosecutor doesn't talk in court 6 times? It's because of fanaticism, corruption, and hatred. My name is Christopher Chichester. I live in Rochester, New York. I've been an innocent man my whole life.